Oh, hello, people in running Fantasy Island. I'm your host, Joe Rubio, of the podcast. Let's start this all over. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know where he's going
exactly.
Today. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 42 of Mr. Rubio Used to Run, the Running Warehouse podcast. And you just happened upon the Fantasy Island of running. I'm your host, Mr. Rubio, and my co-host is Connor Blaylock over here. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We're out here on Fantasy Island. I don't know where you're going with this.
Well,
but
I have a little funny thing. So, I attempted to do a light workout this morning, which included some hill reps and some strides, which was it was a struggle, to say the least. Wasn't as big a struggle as Tuesday, but it still was a struggle. Mm-hmm. So I'll get done, and my basic routine after is to do a little bit of core work, a little bit of flexibility, and of course, listen to some music. So I turn on Yacht Rock. Do you know what Yacht Rock is?
I do know that.
Okay,
yeah,
so you know
I'm a
what
fan.
Yacht Rock is.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
So this, you ever heard of the artist Sade?
I haven't.
So that was from, I believe, the 80s or 90s. And she had this song called You're Giving Me the Sweetest Taboo. Oh. That's Why I'm in Love with You. So then, of course, immediately my mind goes to Weird Al doing a parody, goes, You're giving me the sweetest tattoo. That's why I'm in love with you. So I'm thinking Mr. Rourke is singing that to Tattoo, and I'm laughing to myself.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this is that
I'm waiting for this part.
Is Mr. Rourke's son actually lives in San Luis Obispo.
Oh, wow. And Weird Al actually lived in San Luis Obispo,
he
too.
Did. He was actually a tenant in the apartment I moved into.
Wow.
So we lived at 1025 Foothill, which is the corner of Foothill and Santa Rosa in San Luis Obispo. We lived in number 16, which was on the third floor, which is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom place, and me and 3 other guys split it. Then me and those 3 same guys, we got an opportunity to get number 19, which was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath place. And we went from sharing a room at $154 a month to the staggering cost of $190 a month for our own room and sharing a bathroom. Wow. So it was a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, walking distance to Cal Poly, right by all the good runs, across the street from Campus Donuts, so you can get a fritter in the middle of the night, that sort of thing.
You can get rent for cheaper than a Vaporfly.
I know. It was pretty good. So that was, I think we lived in that apartment building for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my, how's your running going?
We're going good. This is, again, every month we just keep adding in. I feel like recently 2 things have been added in. Definitely volume has been increasing. And even the last 2 weeks, the volume of workouts, I think we did 16 miles this past Saturday.
Yeah.
And that was not the long run. That was the workout. We did another 16 the next day. And then hills. We're adding in some hills, which is a fun, sneaky speed session. What's your thought process on adding that in?
Well, there's a couple different things going on there. It's I don't know the best way to describe it, but you get reacquainted with your speed without the negative effects of being on the track. So you tend not to overdo it. It's really hard to overdo it on hills. They're hard and they're difficult, but they're not a negative to your aerobic development.
Yeah.
So I think,
and a little bit mentally too, because when you're not hitting the 400-meter splits, you can get a little upset. But on these hills, it's all effort based.
It's all effort based. So we do them in sets of 3, and the first one's supposed to be, should be better sprint type mechanics. The speed of it is not that big a deal. The third or the second one is moderate, and the last one's pretty hard. So we do those in sets, and repeat, and then what'd you do? 1.5 miles?
I did a 2 mile.
2 mile tempo
added,
after. Yeah, because you're feeling good.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 1.5 miles, but sometimes in these workouts, when you're feeling good,
you got to go.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty big week.
Yeah.
And we have a pretty solid workout tomorrow too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I stole that one from. I was up at Nike this summer with Dave Frank. He has his high school team meet at the Nike track, and so he and I were, while they were doing their workout, we were running on the Nike track, first time for me. And then we went right next, there's a little parking lot right next to the track, and then right next to that is the Bo Jackson It's I don't know why I call it Bo Jackson, but it's like soccer field, synthetic soccer field. And Dave used to coach Galen Rupp in high school, and he said him and Mo Farah would work out on that synthetic grass field and do 800s at tempo pace with a 200 jog, and then go on the track and then do 800s at 10K pace with a 200 jog, and then finish up with 800s at 5K pace with a quarter jog. And so we're going to do the Mo Farah Rupp, Galen Rupp workout tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we have a grass field right next to the track at Cuesta. So it'll be 800s at tempo pace with a 200 jog, something like 8 of those. And then get on the track and do 4 times 800 at 10K pace with a 200 jog and 2 times 800 at 5K pace.
And you let me know that I could get in the cross country flats for the grass section, because we've got cross country races coming up, and the worst thing to do is hop in on spikes when you're not ready for it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We'll
So
get acquainted.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll work great.
Yeah. And so, so that's going to be this week's workout, and then we'll keep moving forward. Really, at this point, I got 3 more big races. We got to do turkey trot. You always got to do that, and that I think will be a good 5K. See where the shorter speed is.
Are you doing PAs?
I'm not doing PAs, but then I will go to cross nationals.
Okay.
And then
with the one with NXN.
Yes, in Portland.
Yeah.
And then finish off with a half marathon in later December.
Awesome.
And then I think that's 3 good races.
Yeah. And possibly club cross.
Possibly club.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see how the season's going. But if I'm feeling good, sometimes you just got to keep the train rolling.
Yeah, well, the train's rolling through, for most people, be really ready in late March, April, and May.
And that's really how your training philosophy
so
works.
Everyone, I mean, in California and the rest of the United States, there's really nothing for post-collegiate people to do in late May and early. There's nothing until you have like a month break where there's nothing going on, and all the big meets in California, the Brian Clays and all the time trials and Mount Sacs and the 10 are in March and April. Yeah. So you need to be ready for that. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we go.
Exciting. And I mean, a lot going on in
the
training.
Training and a lot going on at work.
There is a lot going on. I feel like every day it's like meeting after meeting. It's hard to get the normal work day done.
Yeah. So we're in the middle of selling season. And we talk among ourselves and we just say it's selling season. Well, I think it'd help the people in listening land to understand what selling season is.
Yeah.
So back in the 60s, when Adidas was the big dog in town and there wasn't a Nike and there was an Asics, Adidas would just come up with a running shoe and build them and put them in warehouses around the United States, and then their sales reps would go out and talk to running shoe stores and take orders, and then they would ship the shoes to the store. The problem is, and this is a problem if you have a direct-to-consumer website in your brand, is do you know what's really popular? What is going to sell? What colors are going to work? Is a new style going to hit or not? So you kind of you go enough of historical data, and sometimes that's accurate, sometimes it's not. So what Phil Knight did, which was brilliant, is he came up with a thing called futures. So Connor would come into my store as a Nike sales rep and say, Joe, if you give me an order now for something that's not going to be delivered in 6 months, I will give you extended dating. So once you get the product in, you got 60 or 90 or 120 days to pay it, and an additional discount if you pay it within that time frame. So a lot of it is like 10% 90, which means you get it if you pay your invoice within 90 days, you get an additional 10% discount. So what that allowed Phil to do is get all these orders from around the United States together at the one deadline, and he would have an idea of what was going to be popular and what to build, and then hedge a bet on some stuff that was really popular that maybe you didn't know about. So a lot of brands that have their own direct-to-consumer, the problem they run into is exactly what Adidas ran into, is you don't know how many shoes to make. So sometimes you don't have enough, and sometimes you have too much. And this is an example of what Nike did 5 years ago when they started closing accounts, retail accounts, brick-and-mortar accounts around the United States, and went all in on the direct-to-consumer. So their inventory went from $5 billion to $13 billion because you have to have enough of everything. You don't know what to skimp on. You're just building stuff, and you end up having way too much stuff, and then there's no exclusivity. It goes on sale, so every Nike product for a number of years is just on sale. So why buy it, at full price? So anyways, we're in the middle of selling, which sounds fun, except it is fun, except when you're seeing every single shoe in the running industry in every single color for hours on end, it can be a little tedious. And if you can imagine our buyers with, what do we have, 50 brands, something like that? We have a lot of brands.
It's a lot of brands.
And you look at their entire product line, and you need to look at the different categories that we have. How popular are those categories? How many shoes are you going to order within that? How much growth do you anticipate? What's the demand? Is demand going up? So like in our energetic category, that's through the roof. Stability is dying like a, on the vine. So that you need to accommodate all those types of things, looking at all those factors.
And the buyers, they have a tough job, but they are also, it's not just the buyers. So we have yourself, me, we've got a lot of people in the room, a lot of eyes and a lot of minds kind of all coming together because, they don't have a lot of information. They're going off the information that comes in the catalog, what the sales reps are giving us, but I'll get the shoes on my feet. I'll try it out, get a very quick first impression. We'll get a bunch of eyes on the colors and we'll have an idea of where the trends are moving forward. But a lot of this is kind of speculation and we're going off of our best guesses, but sometimes we're spot on. Sometimes we are off. And that's kind of the battle that you face each quarter.
In our case, it's, I have this thing about publicly traded companies. Mm-hmm. They're either founder-led or they're not. And what tends to happen when they're not founder-led is you have a group of people that come in that are worried about the books and worried about Wall Street. And so they make decisions based entirely on the stock value right now versus looking long-term. So someone like an On is founder-led. And On isn't really our cup of tea, but they're doing very well. And Casper, the founder, is there guiding the ship. And he knows where he wants to go with this thing, and he doesn't veer from it. So, perfect. Then you have other companies where the founder isn't involved, and you have people from, it's a rotating door of management that comes in and out, and oftentimes they don't understand the product. They think they understand the product, but they don't understand it like we understand the product. They don't understand the trends. They don't take a look at what's going on in the marketplace. So they make their decisions based on what's worked in the past, and so they're playing not to lose versus playing to win. And a founder-led company is generally playing to win. So in our case, long roundabout way of saying is that if it was all numbers, we would just have computers generate the POs, purchase orders. But that's not the case. We have people that understand not just the product, take a look at it, you run in it, we kind of take our best guess, but is this category blowing up? Mm-hmm. Is this category going down? And how are the products that are in there? And so in some cases, it's like we bet big on stuff. In some cases, we convince a brand to bring a model in because they're thinking it's not for the U.S. market. And we go, it's definitely for the U.S. market.
Yeah. And there was a couple of those we've seen just in the last couple of weeks that we said, yeah,
bring it in.
Makes sense.
And I think a good example of this is when the Adidas Evo SL was shown to us. Mm. And they told us how many they're going to make. And we go, you're not doing this right. Their launch, how they're launching and everything like that were completely, we go, this thing's going to blow up.
They had no idea.
They had no idea. Now it has blown up.
Yeah.
It's a great shoe, but it's in a category that's, super popular right now.
Yeah. I don't think there's a hotter shoe right now in terms of how it performs, how it looks.
The cost.
Oh, it's just everything is checking the boxes.
It's a unicorn, right? They caught magic in a bottle.
Yeah.
And I don't see how they're going to be able to do it again, but right now it's our number one selling shoe.
Yeah, and we can't get too much into it, but we'll get into some of the new shoes coming out in 2026 a little later. But the Evo SL is one that I think is going to have several different iterations moving forward, and not necessarily groundbreaking new models, but it is going to give people more options and showing that Adidas is really heavily invested in that category.
Yeah. And just to clarify, you guys will be listening to this or watching this right around Thanksgiving or so, and the shoes that we're talking about.
I think this will come out, I'm hoping for the day before TRE. So if you're listening to this right now, know that over the next 2 to 3 days, we are going to have video after video after video of all the new 2026 releases. Right. So keep an eye out over the next couple of days because it's just going to be coming out nonstop.
It's crazy all the new stuff that's coming out. And the other thing, too, is the shoes that we're talking about now, you won't see them in the marketplace until the summer of 26. So we're looking at the stuff that we're looking at now. We're not going to see in our warehouse until July.
Yeah.
June, July.
At the earliest.
At the earliest. And some of it's going to be later than that. So in some cases, and we'll point this out, that some of these models will be releasing right around TRE.
Yep.
In most cases, you're not going to see these until in summer of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the exclusive.
Yeah, it's exclusive. And we have these, we got our hands tied in a lot of things. So we can talk in general terms. We can't necessarily name the exact shoe.
Yep.
But I think we can talk about the category and how excited we are for certain brands.
Yeah.
On that sort of thing. So, I'll just go down the list of the people that we've seen over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about things individually. But basically, on my list, it's Saucony, Nike, Mizuno, Asics, Adidas, Puma, Salomon, Hoka, On, Diadora, and Teva.
That's a lot.
And you saw
and Teva,
yeah.
I mean, that's not really ever been in the conversation,
No.
but something to keep an eye out.
Yeah, we'll keep. And then the other one is Kiprun.
Kiprun. So that is going to be our latest. You're hearing this first. Our latest addition to the brand lineup at Running Warehouse, and I think they are very exciting. So we're heavily invested in them. I think they're going to be.
When do we get them? March?
So stay tuned.
Yeah.
It should be a spring launch, probably around March, April, but we'll have more information there. But we'll have some first looks over the next couple of days on those shoes. But I think what makes them so exciting is the foams. Awesome foams, the geometries, some really cool geometries and smooth rides. Their weight to cushioning ratio is just unreal. Their price points are just, you look at how they compare to other shoes from all the big brands, and like their prices are a lot better. So I just think it's going to be a really good brand to keep an eye out. I know we've been hearing about it over the last couple of years. People like Paul Chelimo got signed with them a couple years ago. But really an awesome brand that I think is going to make a big splash in the U.S. market. We've seen it a little bit in Europe, but now they're coming in, and Running Warehouse is going to be the spot to get those shoes.
Yeah, I remember actually talking to Paul Chelimo after Nationals.
And did you?
Yes. I go, what the hell are you wearing? And he's trying to explain it to me. I had no idea what it was. So, now I've been...
Paul Chelimo is a character, and I'm hoping we can maybe do some video content with him. They seem open to it, but... you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. He makes some pretty funny Twitter comments, some X comments, and then the other thing with him is just an aggressive racer. I know over the years he's gotten some heat because he makes hard moves and he goes for the win.
I know, he doesn't really care. Just some of the major brands that we have yet to see. So we're not ignoring these people, but Ultra, we see them on Monday.
Yep.
Brooks is, I think they're the last people we see in December.
I think we're going to even see them after this.
We're kind of waiting on Danny Orr to make up his mind if he can make it here.
And if people don't know already, Danny Orr, one of our favorites from New Balance,
is
now over at Brooks.
Yeah, he's heading up innovation. So,
and that's got to be...
Yeah.
Definitely a good move for Brooks, and maybe shows that they might get a little more aggressive in that performance race scene.
Yeah, I would guess that that's going to be an initiative because you don't bring Danny in unless you're looking at doing something exciting.
Yeah.
So, so Jamie LaChance, Scott Young, and Danny Orr will be coming in, I want to say that 9th of December.
Should we get them on a podcast? Should the people let us know down below if they
we should get those clowns on a podcast? I know we should probably be golfing here with those guys. Yeah. And we also have New Balance to see.
Yeah.
And that's our friend George and others. Yes, Crazy George.
Yes. Another person we need to get on the podcast.
George is an interesting guy. He's very funny.
Yeah. A lot of these people have great stories and I mean, just those names you brought up. Jamie LaChance. I think of back in the days when he was at Nike and he was over in Kenya with some of those athletes.
I know. Well, he's the guy behind the Brooks party at TRE.
Yes.
So like everyone gets a VIP pass from Jamie. But the thing that Jamie and Danny were part of 1,000 years ago, the first time I met both those clowns was Somnio.
That's right.
For those that don't know what Somnio is, it was invented by these guys from Specialized Bikes. And they had this whole system of customizing the shoes based on leg length and saddles and all this crap. They tried to do the same thing with shoes, and you had this box, this like Tinker Toys or something like that, erector set, and it was just amazing the amount of combinations, but no one could figure it out.
Yeah. I always, we've talked about this before. There's some brands that are just way too far ahead of the curve. We saw that in the early 2000s with streaming.
Yeah.
Some companies that had some great video streaming ideas, they just
didn't have the technology to pull it off.
And I think Somnio, and I don't know, I think Somnio might have been well ahead of their time, and maybe we'll never get to that point.
I know. There's all kinds of companies like that.
But I think we will see more customization over the next 10 years. I mean, I think there's definitely possibilities for ways to get shoes more tailored towards individual runners.
Well, there was like Customatics.
Yeah.
That was before Nike, whatever. We could customize your shoes.
Okay.
Like the look of the shoes and the upper and all that stuff, and you followed through the whole process, and that was before its time. So, and Nike stole the idea and couldn't make it work. So I think that one's dead. But customization, I think there's a place for it, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be scalable.
That's always going to be the tough part.
Yeah.
But I think again, when we talk about that customization, I think there's a chance for pros to really get some amazing shoes and really get, a shoe that can get that extra percentage, get that extra half percentage on race day. And there probably are ways that you can get in the lab and get things tuned just perfectly for that top end athlete.
Right. But, I know brands do that now. And it's kind of
to a degree,
to a degree. And the thing is that they try to sell that same model to the public to make it like ratified, and they're not the same shoes.
And we actually see that a lot in tennis right now. Yeah. We have a lot of conversations with our tennis parent or sister company, and they always have to say, when rackets come out, endorsed by the pro, because most of these pros are not using the racket.
Stuff off the rack.
Yeah,
exactly. So do you want to go down the list? Do you want to talk categories?
Yeah. Let's start with categories, and then we'll make our way. So we've got all these new categories of running warehouse. Last couple of videos, we've talked about those a little bit. And I think there's certain categories right now that are a little bit hotter than others.
Yeah, two in particular.
Okay.
And I would say, in my mind, it's the energetic. Mm-hmm. So this is where your Rebel's going to fall. This is where your Mach's going to fall. Yeah. Really popular. The Evo SL kind of goes between that and a performance tempo thing. But, there's Venn diagrams. You got to put it in one box or another. But there are a lot of brands coming after this energetic thing. And I know New Balance is rolling with the Rebel, and it's a fantastic shoe. Yeah. But there's people coming. I mean, there's people coming hard into this thing.
So I think one that we can talk about just right off the bat is going to be Saucony.
And
I've got it right here, and this is probably going to be the first time you hear about this because it's launching at TRE. This is the Saucony Azura.
Right, and it's got a foam. It doesn't have a plate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So full length Power Run PB foam.
Right.
So you got that PBA based foam. I mean, it feels awesome. As opposed to the Endorphin Speed that has the nylon plate, there's nothing in this. So it's a little bit more flexible. If you look down below, it's got actually this really aggressive toe spring, a fun shoe. Mm-hmm. And I think this is going to fall in, like I kind of keep going back and forth of what you're going to use it for. And I think it's going to be a great fast long run day, definitely very well suitable for speed workouts. I think daily training you can use it for. I think it's going to be similar to a Rebel, but it's just got its own unique feel, and I think Saucony needed this. So definitely a nice addition to the lineup.
Right. Puma has one that we can't really name what the name is, but it was pretty nice.
Yeah, we were all really excited about that, and I think that might actually be an example of what you talked about earlier of a shoe that America might not have got.
Right.
And we were like, we need this shoe.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're going to get it. And I think there's a lot of exciting stuff from Puma. Puma is always a little bit up in the air of what we can talk about. They are a little bit stricter with their embargoes, but I think it just further shows Puma is here to stay.
Yeah.
They are aggressive with their designs. They keep pushing the foams.
The foams are nuts.
Yeah.
Really good.
And we've seen it with the numbers. We talked with a lot of these brands recently, just letting them know where they're fitting in the last year, and Puma was one of our top growing brands.
Yeah, we had 5 brands that grew significantly more, and it's Puma, Asics, Adidas. Who else we had? Mizuno, Nike.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are our top 5 as far as growth.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we sell the most of them.
Yeah.
But
and with Mizuno,
yeah.
should we go into it?
Yeah.
So we've got 3 new shoes. So in our hands right now, you've probably seen some leaked photos of these. These are the Prototype Pro, Prototype Elite, and Prototype Pure. So you'll get the official name drop tomorrow when TRE drops, but these 3 shoes are just awesome. We saw the Rebellion Pro come out a couple years ago.
That was
really,
a little crazy.
A very crazy shoe, but I think it showed that Mizuno cared. They wanted to do something wild. They wanted to do something that shook things up in the race space. Now we've got 3 different options, and I think each one will kind of have its own spot. The Pro being a little bit more democratic, a shoe that I think anyone can use. I've been running in all these shoes for a year now. I have in my office probably 15 different samples of all these different shoes. It's probably the super shoes that I've tested the most. And they're just fun shoes. The Elite is going to be, I think, that perfect marathon day shoe. You can take it pretty far. It's very bouncy. And then the Pure is going to be the lightest weight. So it's a sub 5-ounce shoe. It's 100% of this new foam, PIBA based, and they're just doing cool stuff. And I think Mizuno, like you said, is our top growing brand. And sure, it's easier to grow your brand when your volume is low, but it just keeps growing each year, and they're not going to put the brakes on. It's going to keep going.
No, they have some really good innovation coming down the pipe. Same thing with Puma. It's just really exciting stuff. And in terms of racing stuff for the second half of the year, there really wasn't. We haven't seen anything other than Adidas has an update.
Yeah, Adidas will have an update, which I got on my foot. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You'll know a little bit more as we get closer to the summertime,
right.
But they're going to make a big push with that shoe, and I would guess at the Berlin Marathon we might see a record. Who knows?
Yeah, it's a nice update. A couple cool ideas behind it.
And then, of course, Endorphin Elite from Saucony. We'll see an update there, which I don't think it's going to be a radical departure from, Endorphin Elite 2 was pretty big, but I think it's going to take everything you like from the 2 and just fine-tune it. Make it a little bit lighter, a little bit bouncier, a little bit more stable, everything you need. Because I think that shoe, as much as it was one of my favorite shoes this past year, the only issue was some people were like, it's just not stable enough. And again, it's not going to be a shoe for everyone, but I think this new version will make it just a little bit more stable.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing at all.
No.
On the Asics front, they had 2 updates that were, one was a new model.
Yeah.
And the other one is an update.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I don't know if we can talk about the update.
Probably not.
No.
Asics, we'll see. I'm hopeful that we can get some good video content with some of those shoes and launch it. But what we can talk about, Nimbus 28.
Nimbus 28 is awesome.
Nimbus 28 is going to be, Nimbus has been crushing it since the 25.
Right.
It's every year is the shoe that when I get it, when we get testing pairs, I usually put my miles in and, move on. But the Nimbus is always the shoe that I get lots of miles in. I think 28, again, if you've liked 25, 26, 27, not a huge evolution, but they didn't break anything. Still is that soft, amazingly cushioned shoe. But I think with that being said, the shoe that we saw from Asics.
One of the most exciting ones is a brand new model.
Yeah.
And if you can imagine a Nimbus on steroids.
Yeah.
A great foam, lightweight. You tried it on.
And brand new name.
Yeah.
We were a little mixed on the name, but when we looked in the tongue, it actually had a call out to the Nimbus. So definitely some Nimbus heritage.
Yeah,
to
but
it.
it's more stacked. It's a better foam. It's a premium experience.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
Yeah. It'll be something you can cruise mile after mile.
Yeah. And Should we give a call out to the man behind it?
Oh, I think definitely. Paul Lang.
Yes, our good friend Paul Lang.
And you'll be seeing him. I've already chatted. We're gonna get some really cool video content with him, and he has actually. So we've known him for years. You've seen him in videos. Very, very knowledgeable guy. He was one of those main guys over in Boston. He spent a lot of this past year over in Japan, really integrating with their team, working in product, and I think that is a really good asset that. The Japanese team is amazing, but having that mix of the talent from America over in Japan, I think is just going to further elevate their product. In the next year or two, we've already seen ASICS has moved up the ranks to arguably our top brand.
They are our top brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in that, I know it's not super flashy and super fast, but then in that max cushioning category, this is where that falls.
Yes.
The total premium experience. Like it's totally comfort. It's super soft. Yeah. And Saucony has a model going in there in that same category. That's a little bit more energetic, and you tried it on.
Yes, and I'm hopeful we can talk about that over the next couple of days. It might be under embargo, but that is going to be the shoe I am looking forward to most in that, like, just plush cushion. I'm running a lot of miles now, so having something like that that's also fun is just great.
And that whole max cushioning category, when you put the Glycerin Max in there. I'm a little disappointed that Glycerin Max 2, put on some weight.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Okay, I need to look at those specs. I mean, I think it's still from my initial try-on. I have one in the office right now. It felt pretty good.
Yeah.
But, I always like to see in that category the weight, at least not add weight. So.
Yeah, and it was heavy to begin with.
Yeah.
And you kind of put up with it just because it was a really good experience.
Yeah.
But now we're getting stuff that's a better experience at way lighter weights.
Yes.
Right. And then you have the Vomero Premium in that category.
Yeah.
So what Hoka used to own, they're getting left.
Yeah.
Big time.
And Nike might not want to hear this, but we'll say it anyways. And I think it's more of just a precautionary tale for the runners out there. Be careful running in your Vomero Premiums because we had one of our testers, and to be fair, she does like to run
over goat heads.
A lot of different territories, and she ran on a fire road that had some little pokies, some
goat heads.
Yeah. And she actually got back from her run and she saw one in her shoe and she's like, "What is this?" She pulled it out and just heard a psh. And that hair is gone.
Yes, exactly. So the two shoes feel a little bit different.
Yeah. And we talked about can you fill these back up? And I think theoretically you might be able to.
But
it would
PSI
be quite
is
a
be
task.
Different. Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense. And you sent me a video of a guy who has actually done all the testing with these airbags, and they do make a difference.
They do. But that max cushion category, I know it's not very, it's not fast and glamorous, but it's. People are coming with some fantastic stuff in that category.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's really exciting. And so you wonder what the next uses of like aliphatic TPU is, and we're seeing it. It's like it's tuned not for speed. It's tuned for squish, lightweight, max cushion, and they can make them so high and so wide that they're not squirrely.
No, and we're seeing it now. Puma has been messing with the ATPUs, and it started with the race and has started to trickle into some of the daily training. And I think that's going to be one that we see is going to push the limits of like, how can we add TPU into every category, or this ATPU into every category? Because it makes sense. It's bouncy, it's soft, it's cushioned, it's light.
And it's durable.
It's durable.
Yeah. The other one in that max cushioning category I forgot about is Mizuno has a model coming in there.
They do. And that we can't talk about it, but I did put it on, and I was like, you know what? Mizuno has got a max cushion trainer that I'm excited for, and I think it in essence kind of seems like a Bondi, but it doesn't have the weight. It doesn't have quite as much of the bulk, and it seems more like a runner-friendly Bondi. Yeah,
and also the foam is better.
Foam's better.
Yeah, it's a really nice shoe. Some of the other exciting, like Salomon's been like the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean, and they show sign of life.
Yeah.
Right? They had some models that looked really good.
Well, we talked about it in our best of a couple weeks ago. Salomon's got some great shoes in the road lineup. You know, they're always known as a trail brand, but they've got some amazing shoes, and I just keep pushing people, try it on. These foams are great, and we're going to see a new edition. It's I believe it's the new Aero Glide.
Yeah.
We'll see at TRE. But everyone who I get to try it on actually says it's a great shoe.
It is.
They're continuing to push on the race space, which, you know, I think they might still just be a little behind there, but they're doing cool things. The one thing I think we can talk about, they've got a very aerodynamic shoe, which I think
it's full cheese.
You know, I think they're
trying to convince themselves that it's significant, and I don't know. It's just, yeah.
Aerodynamics, in my opinion, is the last thing to think about in shoes. And my thing is, if you're going to do something aerodynamic with the upper and add material, I just wonder, is that added weight from the material, any small little aerodynamic benefits you get?
It's offset by the weight.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
But, you know, I at least like that they're trying things,
right.
And they're continuing to update those shoes. And what I've seen on the training space tells me that they should be able to make some cool stuff in the race space moving forward. And I'm hopeful that some of this foam benefits will continue to enhance their trail line, because their trail line is always a solid contender.
It's very good.
Yeah.
But the road line's actually really good now.
Yeah.
On the Adidas front, they are all in. You mentioned earlier, in on the Evo SL. I mean, they have what? They have different. I don't know how many different versions of this thing with different upper materials. So the current Evo SL is one line. Then you have a different material. Mm-hmm. Then you have. Can we talk about the?
Probably not.
Okay.
But
isn't it going to be shown at TRE?
No. It's not.
Anyways, so it's another upper variant.
Yeah.
And then you have like gravel versions coming, and you have ATR versions or whatever you call them these days. So it's coming in all forms, and they all look great.
Yeah.
It
gives the Evo lover just more options, more colorways. We'll have the fashion people will have their
like
version.
the Pharrell. Is it Pharrell? Is
Pharrell.
that Pharrell? Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm getting fed that all over the place on social media. Like, I care about this Pharrell guy, right? But anyways, he's got a model that's everyone's all fired up about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's good because I think, again, when we go back to that original brief of it, they didn't think it was going to be as big as it is. And even when it came out, it was hard to get pairs. They were selling out quick. The fashion people came in. So now I think the running people are going to have their version. The more casual runner person can have their version. The fashion person can have theirs. The trail person. So everyone's going to have a little piece of the pie.
And then it's going to just go back to be a run specialty shoe because everyone's going to get burned out on it.
Yes.
Yes.
And one other thing, we can't talk about it. Again, Adidas, they love to keep the mystery.
Yeah,
but
they have the mystery.
They've got a shoe, and I think what we can say is you take the hype of the Ultra Boost back in the day, and it's just going to, that was another very fashion-forward shoe. And in the early days, I think people were running in it, but no one's really ran in it in the past few years. And I think now there is going to be an Ultra Boost contender that is going to be a very good running option.
It's good. And there's two versions of it at two different price points?
Yeah, well, it'll launch with one.
And then it'll come back with a less expensive, slightly lower stack.
Yeah.
But I have a pair that I wear out, and people are asking me, what in the hell is that? Because it doesn't look like anything like a running shoe.
Yeah.
It's really cool looking.
Yeah.
But it's Adidas all the way.
Yeah, and I wish we could say more. We got to be very mysterious about it, but I think people that have said Adidas is crushing it in the race space and the performance space, but I want a trainer.
Right.
I think they might have something.
This is it, and I think they're on the right path there. I think that the Supernovas and the way that's going, it's fine. It's just not very exciting. But the new Boost lineup is fantastic.
Yeah,
really cool, really light, really bitchin' looking. Just some, I mean, some nice stuff.
Yeah.
We also saw some models from Nike. Didn't have much, as I remember.
Nike really didn't have much, and even at TRE, I'm hopeful that they might have some treats for
Right.
us, but really,
I'm
there's
not thinking.
not
No,
much.
I didn't think there was much going on there.
Yeah, we've saw if you were keeping note of what Connor Mance had on his feet recently, it does appear that there is a new Alpha Fly Proto floating around. From what I could tell, it seems to be very close to the Alpha Fly 3.
Yeah.
Nike, it's tough because they've got such great race product. They were so far ahead in the beginning, and now it seems like they've kind of put the brakes on, and I'm hopeful that they get the message that some of these other brands are making amazing things.
Better stuff.
Because, I mean, in the early days,
It was just Nike.
I only wore Vaporfly,
Yeah.
Alpha Fly, and now I actually can't tell you the last race I wore a Nike. Upcoming in my upcoming half, I'm debating between Metaspeed Ray and Evo.
Yeah.
And those two have kind of set themselves up in a new category, if we call it a hyper shoe.
Hyper shoe or something like that. But even the flats that are, I mean, the second tier flats for most of the brands at $250, $200.
Yeah.
They're close to 6 ounces.
Yeah.
Pretty nice stuff. Mm-hmm. We saw Hoka, and no harm, no foul.
Yeah. I'm hopeful that Hoka. I think it's tough because it's not like they've been doing anything bad, but it's just everyone has really raised the bar, and I feel like they're playing a little safe.
A little too safe, and they should own that max cushioning category. And the fact that you have 4 models that I've seen that are significantly better than the Bondi.
Yeah.
And I love Hoka. I love them to death, but it's just like, come on, guys. I mean, their old tagline was "Time to fly." It's time to innovate. I mean, we're not even talking innovation. The stuff exists in the building.
It does.
They have a TPU foams in the building, but for whatever reason, it's not making its way into any of the shoes. And the fact that you have compression molded EVA still in shoes at that price point is just ridiculous. And I know that those foams exist because the day that we saw Hoka, a few of us stayed and saw Teva. So in Deckers is the parent company that owns UGG, Hoka, and Teva. Mm-hmm. And they got rid of all the other brands. So the Sanooks of the world are gone. Anyways, it's just down to 3 brands. And a good friend of ours, Lee Cox, he used to be in charge of marketing and sales. If you remember the marshmallow guy from Hoka, that was Lee. But now he's in charge of Teva. And he has, it's an outdoor brand, but they have sandals, covered sandals and just open-toed sandals that have plates and ATPU midsoles that are really cool. And they have Mike Wardian as one of their spokespeople, as their sponsored athletes. So you can actually run in these things. Yeah. And I'm not sure you would, but I can imagine having a pair for summer. So if you're camping, you want to go for a run, you can do that. But I would think in the outdoor space, people that used to wear Lone Peaks that are, going miles are going to flock to these things.
For sure. And it was a hot topic at our workout a couple weeks ago because former Running Warehouse employee and pro athlete Scotty Bowes showed up, and he had on a pair of these crazy strap shoes, and we're like, what are those?
Yeah.
And he said they're Tevas, and he did the workout and said they felt pretty good. Are they going to be something out of this world? Maybe not, but I think it shows that they're making some cool stuff, and it'll keep progressing, and it's different.
Yeah, and the guys behind the design on it are Jean-Luc, the guy who founded Hoka, and then also Zach.
Yeah.
And Zach was, when Hoka had their Red Hot trail line, that was Zach. So, I don't expect to sell a whole ton of them, but it's pretty cool stuff.
And is it possible we might be bringing them in?
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I'll just whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure we bring in a lot of not weird. We bring in interesting stuff.
Well, I guess on the topic of bringing weird stuff in, and that's kind of, while we're at TRE the next couple of days, that's our mission for our buyers.
Yeah.
I will be doing videos, but our buyers are going to be going around and looking at the craziest shoes and what can we bring in. And some of our best brands were found at TRE.
Yeah. It's a very interesting event, but it's over the top with the amount of people that are there and the amount of new stuff. But
one other that I think we can talk about, I got reached out to recently, and our buyers will be looking at it at TRE, is this new brand. I'm sure some people have started to hear about it, but RAD. They've got this RAD UFO, and our good friend Jeff Gray, who...
He ran in it yesterday.
And he sent us a message and said, keep an eye out. Yeah. This is something that is definitely worth looking at.
Yeah, we're going to check it out. He's supposed to have the sales manager who lives down in Malibu contact me to get some samples in here.
Okay.
But according to Jeff, he compared the UFOs. I don't know if the UFO is like a line of shoes or it's a model.
I don't know. I want to say it's the model is the UFO.
Right.
It definitely looks wild, like something out of this world.
Yeah, and he compared it to a Nova Blast 5.
Okay.
He feels the Nova Blast 5 is a little bit soft. So he felt that the UFO was firmer and more stable, but still a fast shoe.
Yeah.
So be interesting. We also saw On. They showed us the product line. Did you see that?
Yes, I was at that On meeting, and I think it was, again, a nice direction. There was, some things that I still think I would love to see some more daily trainers that work for me. But, I mean, I think the one thing with On is they're highly committed to their pro athletes and building performance product. And some of these new racing shoes that we saw, they're good.
Yeah.
They've proven on race starting lines that they can compete with the best, and their foams are good. There was one performance shoe that I think I'm hopeful that it will be able to perform, but
it's just the brand doesn't really align with the stuff that we do really well with.
Yes.
And it's just there's hugely successful.
Yeah.
It's just with a different customer than we have.
Yes.
So, no harm, no foul. We'll keep carrying them.
Yeah.
But I don't imagine there's going to be, earth-shattering or anything like that.
I don't think so either.
We saw Diadora.
And that's I think that is our latest brand that we brought in.
Yeah. Diadora is interesting from the standpoint of they're going after competitive runners, particularly high school and college competitive runners. They had a pop-up shop in Flagstaff this past summer, signing some interesting athletes, things like that. So they're going after that, really leaning on the Italian heritage, and also working on their fit. Right now their fit's a little bit on the narrow side, but they're widening it up. And it's hard to get, Italians who've been making shoes a certain way for centuries and generations to change, but they are changing things.
Yeah.
So once they start fitting a little better, I'm sure they'll be pretty popular because the shoes are nice.
Yeah. The super shoe, the Gara Carbon, has been a great shoe for the last couple years. I know it's been on our radar, and now that we can bring it in, I think is it a shoe that is going to, again, change the game? No, but I think it's right up there. A little pricey, but you're paying, again, for that Italian craftsmanship.
Right. And not everyone's going to have them.
No, and that's the thing. Like, if you show up on the line with a Diadora Gara Carbon, you will probably be one of the very few people. You're going to have people asking about it. And, again, it performs. They're really working on these foams, tuning it, and it'll be interesting to see. And they've also taken that inspiration and made some really cool track spikes. And
because who's it, Marco?
Marco, has been wearing it.
Right, it's a really nice spike.
He was right there testing and doing a lot of behind the scenes. And sure, every athlete's going to hype up their brand, but according to Marco, he said that he's running better in that than he was in the Dragonfly. Right. So definitely, it's going to be up there as a contender.
Yeah, it's a cool shoe. It's a cool company. For those that don't know, the company is privately held by the family that's the largest Prosecco manufacturer on the planet. And for those that don't know what Prosecco is, it's Italian champagne. Yeah. So you can tell where that's going. I also believe the family has the largest historical automobile collection or motorcycle collection. I'm sorry, it's a motorcycle collection.
I think we might need to make a trip.
I think I'm looking at that in conjunction with London Marathon and Boston Marathon. Make that, just a little trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could do some car racing with Marco. I think that could be some fun content.
Could be a little bit. Let's see. Are there any brands that we have missed on this?
Nothing too big. We'll talk about North Face over the next couple of days. They've got a couple new trail shoes.
Yeah, but we see them also. There's a brand we haven't seen yet.
We haven't seen them yet.
Yeah. And then outside of that, like I said, Brooks, New Balance, and Ultra.
Yeah.
Are some of the other brands we get to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just again, kind of going back to a couple shoes. I think Hoka, they do have a new racing shoe that I've been trying out, and I think is going to be a really nice update. As Hoka athletes, all the Aggies in town are always asking, how can we continue to improve our performance? How can we get a little bit faster shoe? I think this new one is going to be a nice step forward.
Yeah, it's in the conversation.
It's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah. The Mafate is really good.
Yeah, the standard Mafate.
The standard Mafate. The other one is not.
Mafate X is, and I don't think we'll have to wait and see, but I don't think we'll see any updates for either of those.
What else was it? Looked really. Was it the Stinson?
Yeah, and there should be a Stinson update.
Yeah. But I'm remembering that being really good.
Yeah.
From the meeting.
I think Stinson is a shoe that's never really on our radar, and I think it at least will be a shoe in 2026 that might be on some people's radars.
I think it should. It's a really nice shoe.
Yeah. And with Brooks, again, we haven't gotten the meeting yet, but we'll have some videos. Actually, by the time this releases, we might actually already have a couple videos coming out. The new Glycerin line.
Yeah.
So we've got Glycerin 23, Glycerin Flex, and Glycerin Max.
Yep.
So we talked about the Max. Of course, the Glycerin 23 is going to be a small evolution, but the Flex is a brand new shoe that is pretty crazy.
I saw that like a year and a half ago in their headquarters.
I'm curious where this shoe, how it's going to do.
Yeah, I think, you have the 12 people that want like the 5 fingers to come back. Yeah. It's going to appeal to those people.
Yeah.
I always thought that a shoe like that would be like in the Adidas line would be in the Adi Zero line.
Yeah.
Not because it's fast, but it allows you to train to be fast. Mm-hmm. So it's a training tool.
Yeah.
It's also the kind of thing you might take it on a trip. It's really flexible.
Very flexible.
Right.
But you got that bouncy
lower profile.
foam,
it's got a good
barometer foam.
Right. So
we'll see.
We'll see what happens with that one.
I believe it was like it took some inspiration from some of those earlier Brooks shoes. If you remember the Nero.
Yeah, I remember the Nero.
A huge flop.
Yeah.
It was a shoe that I remember we got it and we were interested in it and it looked cool. And I got a pair. And we were at Brooks HQ, and I had to take them off because I was on my feet all day.
It was horrible.
It was just not a good shoe. And then a shoe that took some inspiration from that was it was that Blue Line shoe that had that cutout, or the Aurora.
That was
which
it. Yeah.
Honestly, the Aurora was kind of a hit for the time. It had a nice cult following, and I think this Flex will take learnings from all of those, keep updating the foams. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens there. But, the exciting thing about Brooks is Dan Sheridan's the president now, and he's taking a little bit more chances than Jim Weber did.
Yeah.
And I think Jim would agree with that. And so you'll see more innovation coming from Brooks, but they're still going to be the dependable, reliable company that has good quality stuff. It fits well. They're always going to have that, but you're going to start seeing a little bit more excitement coming from Seattle from those guys.
Yeah.
Particularly with Danny there.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking forward to seeing New Balance and Ultra and who else? North Face should have some really cool stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
So what else do we have today?
Well, we've talked workouts. We've talked shoes.
How about?
I think this might be a good opportunity to discuss our latest addition to the show.
Yes.
So
Kevin's closet.
Yeah. So we had Kevin's shoe closet. Kevin, if you don't know, is a very close friend of ours, a Hoka Aggie legend.
Yeah.
He's the president of the Aggies.
He is. His daughter runs for Cal Poly. She got 5th at the conference meet.
Yeah.
Over in Hawaii.
And he's a little bit of I'd say he's a little bit of a historian, or at least he's a junk collector.
Yeah, he's a junk collector. Yeah, and his son runs for UC Davis, their club team, which has nationals on Saturday in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and your old teammates will be running there for Cal Poly.
Yes.
Cal Poly Distance Club.
Yeah. And Kevin always hooks us up with the coolest stuff. So he gave us a big bag of shoes.
Yeah.
And now
he gave us a big bag of shirts.
So
what do we have here? This is the T-shirt from the Pepsi 20-miler run. And, this is what smart race directors do. They don't put a date on it, so when you have extra shirts, you can keep using them over and over again. So the Pepsi 20 was a race that ran in Clarksburg, California, which is a little south of Sacramento. It's just a nice little old town. And I forgot which actor lives. Anyways, an actor from a series on ABC back in 2000. I'm going down the wrong path here. But anyways, the Pepsi 20 miler started, I want to say 1966. And then they had that traditionally 3 weeks before Cal International. And so people would run the Pepsi 20 miler as a tune-up for CIM. And then the Pepsi 20 miler became the Clarksburg 30K, which still exists to this day. And the reason I brought this shirt out is the Clarksburg Half Marathon, which is in conjunction with the Clarksburg 5K and the 30K, happened this past weekend.
Okay.
So I thought it was a fitting T-shirt to show today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we looked at the results. Some of our Aggies ran, and that was a course that you said is actually relatively flat.
It is flat. When I say flat, it's flat. And everyone says you want to run a flat course. The problem is that you use the same muscles repeatedly, and you don't have any slight variations in the thing. And one of the reasons Cal International is so fast, everyone says it's downhill. Well, it's downhill in the sense of for the first half of the race, you're dropping 50 feet and you're rising 45 feet. So it's rolling for the first half of the race. So it's not a consistent downhill course. The last half is. So my argument would be using different muscles throughout the race, and that makes it fast from that standpoint. So, but going back to the Clarksburg race, you're running on country roads, and then you hit a levee. So you have to run up a small hill to get to the levee, and then it's flat. So a 30K is 18.6 miles. 18.6 miles of just flat sounds like what you want, but my experience wasn't the same. So the last time, I think that was the last time I really ran it hard, I had run a half marathon a couple weeks before in 1:05:30 something, so 5-minute pace. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to run the same pace for 30K. And what happened was when I got to half marathon, the wheels fell off, and I did not maintain that pace the whole way. So I ended up running a good CIM, but I learned my lesson at that one. So the Clarksburg 30K was always traditionally a tune-up race for me and like Mark Conover before he ran, and Brent and all the other guys. We just kind of did it, right? It was just part of the whole training program.
Right.
In fact, the people I have doing Cal International this year, next weekend is the same thing. It's within a half marathon or like the PA Cross Country Championships. Afterwards, it's some stuff at marathon pace. For our local half marathon, it'll be 2 to 4 miles at marathon pace before the start of the race. And then you run the first 10 miles at marathon pace and see what you got for the last 5K, that sort of thing. So Pepsi, it was great. And the other thing is it starts at little tiny elementary school. So you're in the parking lot there, and the gym's open and all that kind of stuff. That was, old school race.
Nice.
Yes.
And I think that this will be a great, we can keep bringing some of this history.
Yes, historical.
Because we got a lot of shirts.
We got a lot of shirts. And, we're only on podcast 42 or 43 or 41, whatever number we're on. And our hope is to get to a couple thousand of these things. So, yes, we got a lot of stuff to work through.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think, Kevin might be a good one to have on the podcast at some point, get some of his stories. And there's a couple more that we've talked about, some real historians that would be fun to have on.
Yeah, we need to get our guest list back together again.
The 2026 list is looking hot.
Right. But we'll be talking shoes for this episode and a couple more episodes because that's what's on the radar at the moment. But some people might not like to hear this, but we're not always going to talk about shoes.
Not every episode.
Not every episode.
There's
some other stuff in the running world that we need to chat about.
Yeah.
So, anyways, do you have anything else for us, sir?
No, that's about it.
Yeah.
we'll keep this coming. I'm excited. By the next podcast, we'll have gone through TRE, so I'm sure we'll have some nice insights from that.
There'll be a lot there. So you and I are in the same travel plan where we're going to TRE, which is in San Antonio, Texas.
Yep.
And I'm actually got invited to go to an NBA game on that Tuesday night.
Oh, did you?
Yes. And the thing is I don't really watch NBA, but I like going to sporting events. And apparently the hottest guy in the NBA, some 7'4", 14-year-old kid that I know plays like Steph Curry or something like that, is in the lineup for the Spurs. I have no idea who the Spurs are playing or anything like that, but anyways, it should be a good time.
Okay.
So those are the types of things. I'm purposely leaving Austin the day of the Brooks party.
Okay.
Avoid that mess altogether.
I know, and we're both heading on to Oregon
for the NXN
Nationals, and I'll be running. Yeah. So as much as it pains me to say, I might have to miss the crazy Brooks party this year too.
Yeah,
I know people
you're
look
in the
forward,
mosh pit.
People look forward to our update every year. So, but maybe we can get Thomas from Believe in the Run to send us some photos, like videos from
some of the various clowns that end up at the running event.
Yeah.
Yes, these influencers. That is so they're called. So, anyways. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, and I mean, just to end this, I think we've just got two final things before we do the final closeout, but we've got the contests.
Oh!
We've got two contests running.
Yeah. Forgot. That was a big deal for the last couple of podcasts. What do we have?
So, well, first off, we'll say our monthly, every couple episode podcast where we give a shoe to a random person. You can pick whatever you want, is continuing to go. So continue to comment, like, subscribe below, and every couple episodes we'll continue to give that winner. But today we do have the announcement of the Meta Speed Ray giveaway.
The one that's in my office that I can finally ship to somebody.
Yes. That's been
size 11 with a slight blemish on the insole. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, perfectly new condition in the box with the tags and everything.
And we promised the rules were just over the last two videos, you could give crazy comments, and whoever got the most likes would win it. And boy, did we get some crazy comments. So I figured maybe we'd just talk a couple of the crazy comments, and then we'll announce who the winner is. But the first one I'd like to talk about would be this was from Chris Humes. He said, size 11 runner, if I get those Rays, I will be so fast that my wife will finally think I'm cool and not leave me for one of those shirtless hybrid athletes. And these hybrid athletes, they're coming.
What is a hybrid athlete?
So we're going to see a lot of those in Texas. They're big over in Austin and San Antonio, but the hybrid athlete is
all hat, no cattle?
Well, they like to lift weights and run. It's the high rocks athletes.
Oh, no.
It's your influencers. It's who knows what they're doing in the back rooms to get those muscles, but we won't ask them.
Supplements. Oh, geez.
They look good.
Well, yeah, I get this theory that guys that want to look like that are just they're just looking at themselves in the mirror. I really don't think people are in. But anyways, this coming from a guy with a beer gut, what are you going to do?
So that guy was close. He had 18 likes, which is solid.
Yeah.
Another one, this guy said, I will dress like Rey Mysterio and run the 5K in these.
Who is Rey Mysterio?
I don't know.
Okay.
But he's going to dress like him. So,
okay.
He got 15 likes, a very solid contender, but just not quite up to par.
Right.
There was one comment. I don't know if he deleted it or maybe the no fun police in our videos department maybe deleted it, but he was close. He also didn't get it. He said that I could go on a date with his mom if.
Did my response get deleted?
I was going through. I couldn't.
Where is it?
I couldn't find it.
Did it get deleted?
I don't know.
God dang it!
But
man, but basically, and I said women give Connor gifts, not the other way around. Something to that effect. Oh, geez.
So, but I think there was writing, there was a contract. So, but unfortunately, he did not get the win.
Yeah.
So,
who won?
So the winner, the big winner was a controversial comment. This was from Nickel Runs, and he said, or no, I'm sorry. This was from Robert Stockloffer. 1877. We'll put the name up on. He said, I am a size 11 runner who just got his first hemorrhoid last week. The free Metaspeeds would be the only way to make me feel better besides getting Preparation H.
Okay, so he's our winner. So
he did give the craziest comment, I will say, and 35 likes. Robert, you are going to get your Metaspeed raise.
There you go. Can you figure out a way to contact Robert? And
we'll figure out.
Get an address and we can ship it off to him?
Yeah, we'll comment in YouTube and we'll get those Metaspeed rays out to him.
Okay, sounds good. Should we do another contest similar?
Yeah, I mean,
I have
do you have something else?
I have the Evo 1s.
You've got Evo 1s.
In size 10.5.
Okay.
And they've been worn in the parking lot. So outside of that, they're in new condition. Actually, Rick tried them out maybe in the hallway.
Okay.
So they're nearly new condition, but we'll put those up.
Okay. So again, I think a lot of the people who commented this,
they'll probably try again.
Yeah.
And have their friends say, good job or something.
And the Metaspeed Ray and the Evo are probably the two top shoes on the market right now.
Because you're running your half marathon in one of those things.
I am.
Yeah.
So let's, again, I think Robert set the bar for the craziest comment, but I think we might be able to go crazier.
I know, hemorrhoids and so forth. I mean, what are you going to do about that? That's really an uncomfortable situation to be in.
Yeah, but I think the Metaspeed Rays will...
Yeah, they'll soothe it a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Cool.
All right.
Anything else?
Well, the only other thing you got to do...
Oh, I forget. I'm getting ahead of myself, behind myself. You have to like, comment, subscribe, and write some sort of response that people like, and then get yourself a pair of Evo 1s.
That's right.
That have been used
Evo
once
1s.
down the hallway.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
There you go.
There you go. Well, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay. Peace out.
Until next time.